Just wanted to share this aquarium with you guys, give you a quick update, and look at this anemone. Look at the size of this thing, huge. Then we got the red one up here, but like, that's insane. It's like, it's bigger than my hand, stretching out all the way there. Now the bad thing about this is it's starting to encroach on those zoanthids, and it's stinging them pretty bad. But look at this little queenfish hiding right there. That's awesome. Such a cool fish. Yeah, so it's starting to sting those zoanthids, and it keeps moving around the tank, so it's really kind of hard to deal with it. But I guess they're still doing okay. The lights just came on, so usually this has green polyps out. Got this guy encrusting. This one is the same coral as that to the right, but the problem is the anemone was right here, and it stung here, and it stung there, so he lost both of those pieces. And then it decided to move all the way over here, so it took a bit of a travel. But hopefully this one comes back now that the anemone's gone. Hopefully this one doesn't end up being a pain in the butt. So yeah, this whole area got hit by the anemone when it took a walkabout. All those got hit. Pally's doing all right. So I think because these anemones are growing so much, we started with one of the reds, and now we got 3 of them, and this one is just crazy big. I'm gonna try to stick with things that can handle the sting of an anemone, so just like softies, and maybe we'll get some more mushrooms in here, some type of zoas. I just added this zoa rock not too long ago. Maybe like some more feather dusters. I really love the color of that feather duster. Carpet anemone stings, you know, just some things maybe that will not have a problem with the anemone stings as much, because they love the anemones in this aquarium. Look at that little eel. He thinks it's time to get fed. And then up top here, we have some monopora. Polyps are out, looking good. And then a blue plating sponge right next to that red monopora. That's growing like crazy. And we got some Anthias, blue hippo tang. Everybody's looking good. Everybody's happy. Little golden cucumber there. Blue jaw trigger. Yeah, everything is looking beautiful. I love that cabbage coral. How awesome is that? Can't wait till it gets really big. Yeah, so maybe some more discosoma mushrooms like these blue ones right here. I think some red ones, maybe some gold ones. Things like that is what I'm gonna continue to put in this aquarium, because these anemones are just gonna get insane. And probably another toadstool. I'll probably put one around here somewhere to have a little bit more, big coral in the tank. I have a really nice one at the shop. I think would do great. Other than that, everything is pretty straight here. Got the green star polyp growing on the overflows. That's pretty cool. And yeah, I think we're pretty much maxed out on fish here. Maybe 1 or 2 more medium-sized fish, and we're good to go. But yeah, I still got some room for more corals, but I just gotta be creative when it comes to it, because this is now becoming a bit of an anemone tank. So we gotta find some cool stuff that can deal with that. So any suggestions would be I'd be very grateful for them. All right, there we go. All right, so any of you who have watched my videos in the past know that I have a little planted macroalgae saltwater aquarium with a hang on the back filter here in my bedroom. And it started off just kind of like stuff that I would find in customers' houses, extra stuff like an extra caulerpa, extra coral or something like that, that they were getting rid of during the service or something like that. I would pick up, and I just kind of threw everything in here, and I kind of wanted to see what would stick. Well, we've got some cool stuff, like this sponge right there. Got some cool shells. We got this blue sponge right here. We got some pretty cool stuff in here. Got orange sponge growing through here, and the caulerpa is looking, and the macroalgae is looking great. It's taking off. And the star polyp, I just did a water change, so things are a little bit cloudy, but the star polyp is in right now. But that star polyp is growing like crazy all in the back there, and it's starting to grow onto the rock. It's all great, but I've gotten a lot of positive feedback about people saying that they really like this tank, and I feel kind of embarrassed and shamed because I haven't really invested a lot in this tank. This was a 20 gallon tank that I had sitting around for a while. It's the brace. It got a cheap Night Crew light that cost me, I don't know, like 30-40 bucks or something like that. I'm thinking about completely redoing this tank. I'm thinking about completely like making it go rimless and make it really nice. Add my extra AI prime that I have here on the tank, and rescaping this whole thing and doing it nice. But in order to do that and start over, we unfortunately have to deal with something that I knew was going to be a problem, but I didn't really pay much attention to it because I really didn't care. Aptasia. Aptasia is everywhere in this tank. In every square inch of this aquarium, there's Aptasia growing. There is not a spot in here that it's not growing on. Like, it is literally everywhere. It's even growing like on the calabar. It's crazy. It's even growing on the macroalgae. It's crazy. So because I want to make this tank nice and eventually rescape it and do some cool things to it and add some more fish and do all that fun stuff, I got this little buddy right here floating in the tank, and he's going to take care of all the Aptasia in the tank. And here is what the tank looks like today. I'm really happy because all of the Aptasia is gone. The Bergia nudibranch took care of every last bit of Aptasia. I haven't seen an Aptasia in weeks now. So I'm really happy. This whole back area, remember, was all covered. All down here was covered. There's big pieces popping out of everywhere. And it all looks to be cleaned up. Now, I'm sure there's some little ones somewhere around, but the Bergia nudibranch is still in here. And it's still gonna do its thing. And hopefully I can find it, and then we can take it out when all the Aptasia is eaten. And I can bring it back to the shop and let it breed and do its thing. And then if the Aptasia pops up again, we will put another Bergia back in. I just did a trim in here because there was a ton of macroalgae in this aquarium. This is the algae that I took out. All this I trimmed out just today. This stuff was like growing like crazy, and it was just way too much. It was shading everything. Long overdue. So I gave it a nice haircut. But now that I did that and we got rid of the Aptasia, and the tank's looking a little bit more functional, a little better now. That it looks like we could actually do something with it now that the Aptasia is gone, that we can actually like put coral in here without it being stung to death, and we can actually do some really cool things with this tank. I'm excited. So I need you guys' opinion. What should we do? What should we put in this tank? So we still have the Night Crew light on here, which I think I'm going to continue to use. I don't know if I want to put my AI prime on this tank. But we have a cabbage coral right here. This neon cabbage coral, which is doing great. I think I want to lift that and put it up somewhere. We have another regular cabbage coral, which is just kind of like a flesh color cabbage coral. This green star polyp is growing like crazy. It's actually growing. I don't know if you guys can see that. It's actually growing on this leather coral, which I'm gonna have to peel that back. Just did a water change too. There's another piece of leather coral. But we got the sponge growing, the blue plating sponge growing onto the rocks, and then we have blue plating sponge growing up here in the corner. So that's kind of cool. And speaking of sponges, we have this orange sponge that's still kicking it. After all this time, it's still surviving. It's crazy because usually these sponges only last a couple months, but this one's still doing its thing. I'm happy about that. And then this pally was completely shaded by a bunch of macroalgae, and now that it's gonna get some light, I'm hoping it looks more like these over here. Same type, but now that they're getting a bit more light, they'll start to get a little healthier. You can see our little jawfish right here hiding underneath. He's got his little shells around his home. Still have the Kenya tree, and there's some feather dusters. But the newest addition, which I just put in today, is this non-photosynthetic coral. It looks like a dead coral skeleton. Looks like there's nothing there, but if we look closely inside, you'll see some black there. There's polyps inside there, and now those come out at night. And the reason why they come out at night is because, like I said, they're non-photosynthetic, so they don't need light. But that's when usually we're in the wild where they're from, the little zooplankton and plankton and things like that float to the top, and they snag them and they eat them. So they fully survive off of just eating out of the water column. We can train them to come out during the day if I start to get them on a schedule as far as feeding them during the day, which is the plan. But right now, this is a new addition. There used to be nocturnal, but we're gonna change that. But they got a bunch of heads on there, and my goal is to feed them really good every single day and have this thing just completely just covered with the heads of this coral. It's gonna be really cool. Really excited about this new addition right there. I like to see more non-photosynthetic corals in this tank here also. think it'd be a cool little addition. Now, as far as fish go, we saw the jawfish. We have 2 masked gobies. Unfortunately, the 2 other little ones got bullied and they died. We have a Trima goby hiding back in the barnacles somewhere. And then we have what else do we have? Oh, we have a dotty back, some type of dotty back in here. And then we have some type of like little blenny or something like that around. They like to hide. They only come out really when it's time to eat, but we definitely need more fish in here. So I'd love to hear your opinions and suggestions for fish for a 20-gallon nano aquarium. What kind of fish would do well in here? I think definitely some more masked gobies. I like to replace the 2 that we lost. And this jawfish, I'd love to get him out because I think he's potentially could eat something that, like, I want to add smaller fish in here, but there's a good potential he could eat them. I also would love to add sexy shrimp in here, but I think he would go after him too. So that's unfortunate, but I'd like to get him out. But keep that in mind as we're going forward. Oh, I think we got some sponge over here. What is this? Looks like we got some type of sponge right there. It's hard to get a good shot of it, but yeah, growing in the, I don't know what that is. I'll have to get a closer look. Growing in the star polyp. Star polyp is taking off. But yeah, now that we got this thing cleaned up, did a nice water change on it, trimmed up that macroalgae, got rid of the Aptasia, we are ready for some corals in this aquarium. I do have rock flowers. I want to stay away from bigger anemones, anything that could kill small fish. Stay away from that. I have 2 rock flowers. Now that the light is going to be hitting them, they should be doing better. But yeah, let me know what you guys think would work best for this tank. Oh, there's a blood shrimp, a fire shrimp in here somewhere. Like I said, they only come out when it's time to eat, really. But we need to get more life in here. Let me know down in the comments what I should put in here, and I'll try my best to get it. There's that fish I was telling you guys about. He always comes out to eat. He's a fat little piggy. He was so small when I first put him in here, and he's grown just as big as the masked gobies. But he really, you only see them when it's time to eat. Look at him, see, taking him. Great eater, great eater. And there's our shrimp coming out to eat also. This tank becomes way more lively when I feed it. Just put some brine in there. Now everybody's coming out to come chow down. And there's our little goby right there, our little Trima goby hiding within the barnacles. That's the one I was talking about. Again, coming out when it's time to eat. And we also have a crab right there. Anyways, that's my update on this aquarium. Next time you see it, hopefully it'll be stocked with your suggestions. In hopefully about a month's time, I plan to do another video updating you guys. I really want to make this thing look really nice because it's right by my bedroom, and I just think it's a fun tank, you know. It's a little macroalgae aquarium, and it's just different, and it's different than any of the tanks that I mess with on my daily service route. So yeah, comments would be appreciated, and next time you guys see this tank, hopefully we see your suggestions in it. All right, see you guys in the next one.